like it's starting to go. Looks like it. Well, things are starting to catch up a little bit. Let's see. Few second lag. And that's what we got. Yep. Okay. So, I'm going to do a little box opening. Haven't done anything in a while. Been busy. Busy at work and beat when I get home and uninspired. So I've just been lazing, dealing with the ducks and the chickens and everything else I got to do around here right now. Now that we're in the winter, I ain't going to be doing not much outside, so I'll start having more time when I'm home from work. So I ordered some parts. Now these are parts to build additional axles, spare axle sets. I had a couple sets of axles that are not full, so I wanted to get those going. So what we got here, I guess I'll take these pieces out. Is first a couple SSD lockers. These are for the Rift, Axial Rift AR-14Bs, and a pair of ring and pinions from Incision, stocks gearing 3813. And those are to build up a set of Rift axles. I have C-hubs and knuckles coming. I got a set of trio knuckles and just some no-name C-hubs on the way to do those. And then these other parts are SSD again. We've got a pair of Pro 44 axles, front and rear, or axle shafts, I should say, front and rear, and one overdrive, I believe. That's what I got, was overdrive on this one. Get my eyes on so I can see. Yeah, 827 overdrive mirrors. So that's what's in that box, the smallest box. Here's my SSD axles. This one's got a front and it's got a set of SSD stock ring and pinion gear. I'm going to take that out. That will go in the back. I already got the locker in there. Already got the locker in here, obviously. So that'll go in the back, and then this overdrive will go into the front. And then I've got some C-hubs and knuckles coming for this to complete that set. So that will finish that setup. And then the AR-44s, as I said, I've got the things coming for that. So we're going to slip these in here for a couple days till I get those parts. We'll slip this stuff in here for, I can build the rear set, but it'll wait. Again, these are just spares, so I got some extra axles. I got a couple projects I want to do. The SSD or the Rift axles I may swap out on my for the ones on my Rift, because I've got SSD aluminum tubes to put in that for front and rear. I might have to modify the ones for the rear. And then the next box I got is for this. And of course, this is a no prep drag car. I got sensor wire. I gotta redo or add a couple things here. And as you can see, the box here will come up a little bit. The box is obviously a body. I've been waiting for this body for quite a while. Over a year. And as sucky as that is, I'm happy to get it and appreciate all the time, effort, and work that went into getting this body. Be careful here. Don't want to cut into it or hit it. To the point where it can be shipped out. It's been a long endeavor. But when I first seen it, I was like, oh my God, that thing, is that real? Is it somebody really did it? And they did. And it took a few times, and the guy's, single guy, working on his own for the most part. Put together. Wow, this thing is sweet. And come out with what he has dubbed the Alpha 1, which, if anybody is familiar with that, that is from Backyard RC. And the Alpha 1 is the Vega body, early 1970s Vega body. Here, window stickers. Have to get that laid out and flattened up. Some headlight, tail light, and grill stickers. That's nice. This other, not exactly sure what. Oh, those are little lens. Okay, yeah, the lens covers. Yeah. Door handles, key knob. You see the key handle and key knob underneath the grill. And then, of course, the Backyard RC stickers. But no, a nice job. Excellent job, Justin. I like those. But this baby right here. Oh, yeah. Look at the body lines on that. Even pulled on the door handle. Right here. Even the door lock is a pull. Not just a sticker. There's a bump there for the key lock. Now you're going to see the two buck lines, and this is something I know he wasn't happy with. But because of the mold, because of the rounding of the bodies, what had to happen is you can see the buck line here, coming right there, and then the buck line here, coming right there. So as crappy as that is, it's not highly noticeable. It's a little bit, but that's minor. Look at this body. This thing is beautiful. Just flipping beautiful. A lot of it was getting around the bumpers and everything else because Vega has the split bumper, open mouth grill, and then as you can see, these bumpers pop out here quite a bit. So getting that buck off, why it's hot and not causing a problem was the kink that had to get solved. And having to modify the buck was the smartest and only solution. So the bottom piece or the center piece could drop down a little bit, and then these pieces could pull back. So they would pull back this way, and then you could pull out of this bumper area with the buck and remove the body. And it's the same on the back. It's got the a nice well molded. This is thick. This ain't just thin. This is, I'm not sure how to mill it. It's a, you can hear it's a pretty. It's not flimsy. Oh man, that's gonna look badass. That is going to look badass, and those wheel wells are perfect. And actually, that'll work out great. I'll be able to add a little piece, little flare up front to get my front spoiler diffuser in place. And obviously you can kind of tell where some of the color scheme is going to be headed because of the color of the tarp. This is the tarp OMB 6001, the Traxxas model. And I've got some videos of that if you're interested in checking that out. Yeah, hatchback. So there's the molding lines for the hatchback. And I think I'll be doing a real touching all these mold lines here with a black so they kind of darken up a little bit. And then when I paint it, it'll look like it's dark and you'll see that in the cut line. I'll do that in all these places where it's supposed to be because I'm going to be anal about this one. But anywho, I've been waiting for this body for a while. Thank you, Justin. It is gorgeous. It was a long wait, but my friend, it was well worth it. This thing is badass. 65 bucks, I think, ladies and gentlemen. And he busted his ass, went through ups and downs, frustration. I'm sure he pulled his hair out 5 or 6 times along the process, and then probably just another few times over the last few months, and even weeks, probably one more pulling his hair out, trying to get everything in place to get these out the door finally. And it was worth it. Worth the wait. Love the scoop. I mean, it is a shame that the buck had to be modified, but without that, you wouldn't have been able to get the detail. So don't sweat it, my man. That is a small, these little buck lines is a small price to pay. Very, very small price to pay for the rest of this body because she is gorgeous. And she's gonna look good. Pull down and take a peek. Oh, look at that body. Damn, that front end is badass. Let's see, we got the cord kind of wrapped up here. I think I can back it up. I gotta back it up a little bit. I might have it on a thing, but it'd take a minute. So, anywho, yeah, this thing is kicking. One hell of a good job. So yeah, bring it back a little bit here. There you go. Now you get a better look at it. You can see why they had, with the front pointed out as far as it is. That buck had to come back, and same thing with the back. He had not only the bumper, but you got the rear flare here on the back that sticks it out. And those pieces of metal in the buck had to be moved to get it out of the plastic off the buck. So yeah, that's second. Oh it's gorgeous. That was the last piece, the very last piece I've been waiting for to do my no prep rigs. Built all three of them at once and paid for those bodies so I could do all the rest of them, get them all done up. But that's box number 2. Now give me a few minutes. So, thank you. Appreciate that time. Hang this one back up for now. But yeah, I am stoked on that Vega body. So if you're looking for that body, you find it and you're taking a look. I'm not paid. I'm not getting nothing like you. First time I seen it in person here, besides some pictures and stuff online and Facebook, was today. I opened it up in front of you, and that thing's beautiful. But yeah, I'm getting nothing for it. But if you want that body, you want to find the Backyard RC, backyardrc.com, I believe it is. And I can double check that, make sure. I'm pretty sure that's it. Ooh. Maybe not. Let's take a look. I know he's got a Google or a Backyard RC Speedway. That's it. The backyardrcspeedway.com. And you go over there, and Justin's got area. You go to the store, obviously, and click on store, and you can buy. I believe he has some bodies right now still available. You got some. So he's offering 2 options. He's giving you the full body like I have, which is $80. I got it on the pre-order a year and a half ago. Sure, a year ago. I got it in on the pre-order. God, it might have been even longer. Anyways, and then he is offering scratch and dents, which have some flaws in the plastic and areas here and there where things aren't quite right. He's got some of those available for $55 in free shipping. That's free shipping on the $80 one body too. So shipping is included into these prices for the full blown rig of $80 or a scratch and dent, which is going to have some flaws in the pole, thin spots possibly here and there, for $55. So that's shipped. And then check out the rest of the store. He offers really nice ceramic bearings. I have them in 2 of my rigs. Yeah, I got his ceramic bearings in 2 of my no prep rigs. He offers some really nice other pieces as well. So yeah, Backyard RC. If you want to double check those things and pick yourself up a body. So that's going to bring me to my last box for the moment. Oh, this one I'm going to have to move a few things around. That there, put that there. We'll move this over to the other side just for now. I have to move you and you and you. I need to come over here with this stuff, I guess. And Black Friday deal, the real Black Friday deal. Can you guess who it's from? As you heard, I was talking about getting stuff for a Rift, so I do have a Rift. So no, this isn't a Rift. And if you watch some of my earlier stuff, you see I've done a bomber. So no, it's not a bomber. Black Friday deals, if anybody's paying attention, they had a bunch of them. There's a lot of good stuff, and as you can kind of see it there in the thing, I should have left that up like so, but what we got is an actual 1.9 Capra. This is my first Capra. Haven't had one. Looked at it. Pretty nice. I did buy a 10.3 kit when they were first released. But I turned around, sold it. Things got a little tight for me right after I bought it and had to get rid of it. But this is on the Black Friday special, as all you guys might have seen, for $299. But that's not what I paid. My local hobby shop had them, local in the state. It's a couple out south of me. My local hobby shop had these red and green offered for $239.99, and that was free shipping. So I had to pay taxes. It was in Michigan, and I'm in Michigan, and Michigan's gonna tax. So it was like $255 off the door. $255 for an RTR, and it's the green one, not the red one. So I mean, how can you go wrong with that? So I've never had a Capra, and I've checked them out. I've heard a lot of people talk about them, rave them up, but I never did buy one. Of course, I only got back into RC in 2020 with the Rona. Stuck at home, not doing much. But when I was on the road, it would have been nice to have it. Something to do after work than just sit in the hotel room. So I decided to get back in. Now, of course, if you've been watching, I've got quite a few rigs again and running out again. Oh, look, it's another Spektrum radio. Well, that's pretty basic. You're supposed to be okay, it does have two buttons. You're supposed to be able to set endpoints with this. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Now, I believe why they put such a good special on the Capra 1.9s RTRs is because now they have the 2.0, not the 2.2s, the 2.0 capper with rear wheel steer, the second version with rear wheel steer built right into it. And I believe they're probably going to possibly just discontinue or reduce the cost a bit more, maybe down to $399 for the RTR version. I don't know. They may discontinue it, but considering that it was at $299 on special, and then our local, I don't know if they just maybe had a stock of them, they were giving their own little deal, but yeah, $239.99 is like a sore Peter, hard to beat her. The rest of these out. Happy little Ute, right? Okay. Yeah, should know Harley was involved in Axial. Maybe a spot. So let's see, batteries and wrench and spine plug is the manual. Go in there. I'll redo that. Put this up here for now, I guess. So yeah. Now, if anybody from Nankin Hobby happens to see this, when you see my order come in, and then you see about 7 more orders or maybe 15 more orders, you might want to hit me up with some affiliate help. Just kidding, but I let a few people know. And as I went back over the hours and checked, the numbers were going down and down and down, and what was available because people were buying the hell out of them. Like I say, I let a few people know on a couple forums, or one forum, and my local crawler group on Facebook. And I know at least 5 of the people had come back and said, "Oh man, that's a deal. I couldn't pass it up." So I know I got at least 5 of those sales. But anyways, shit for beginners. All right, so that ain't too bad. I can see why people say put the flat skid on, drop it a little bit more. Makes sense. I could see doing that. Although what I don't understand, looking at this, I'm just taking a quick peek at it, my first time in hand, in sight, where I can see the setup, everything where it's at. What I don't understand is why people had a problem mounting the servo for rear steer. I mean, Christ, there's a spot made for it. Cutting all the cage up and everything, you know, I can see that if you mount the servo on the axle, sure. But I'm looking at another solution already is jumping right out at me. Unless somebody's tried it and there's a problem with it, I don't see why there would be. It's just a matter of developing a mount. Jesus, they spend all that money on a redesign for the cage. Did not really need to. Possible. Seeing what I'm seeing. Quite possible. But anyways, that's a modification for later. I do see what everybody says it does stick up kind of high. It is a shame they only allowed basically one or two positioning on shocks. And then because of the cage design in the back, it would have been nice to see these side backs here come in, like come, straight off the back farther here and then bend out, just to give more area right here for shock mount. That could have been done. One more brace across the inside and the back there at that bend, that would have really strengthened that up. Like I said, they could have narrowed this rear end and right behind the cockpit, narrowed this in a little bit into here and really made room for more shock adjustment. At least nothing seems to be leaking. Everything seems to be pretty smooth. Who knows how long this thing's been sitting on the bench. Ooh, takes a little. We got pretty decent drag brake. We'll find out. Let's see what it's got for a battery line. Speaking of battery, oh, that's right. There. That's the IC60. Take that off and put on a couple pins, hold it in place. Surprised they ain't got any pins in there. I got more. Yeah, just for now. So anyways, that's my box 3. Now I do have a few other things coming. Like I said, C-hubs and knuckles for both the SSD and Rift axles. And then I'll have a set of Rift axles and SSD axles to build something with. I have contemplated, because I've been talking to people already and blah, 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 blah. And of course, a lot of people steal the Rift axles, or I'm sorry, the Capra axles, and use them on LC Cheese and other rigs. And then I see was Logan with West Desert, or Wiz West Desert Wheeler, has designed a CMS mount, so you can put the servo on the chassis in a 4-link, I believe it is. Or no, not 4-link. Yeah, 4-link. It's not, but yeah, I was thinking 3-link Panhard. Panhard, I think my bad. He's just got the servo on axle, or I'm sorry, the CMS servo mounted chassis mounted servo adapter. And then you can put straight axles up underneath this, or other axles. A lot of people actually so far who've been doing that have been really good, and I've been watching his videos. It's performing quite well as a straight axle rig. Something to think about. I'm going to run it for a little bit before I upgrade it. Now my bomber, I ran that new stock and got about 5 minutes into it, and the plastic link broke right at the rod end. And of course, that's not a replaceable rod ends, it's all one piece. So I started upgrading that after 5 to 8 minutes of runtime, which kind of sucked. I did want to spend at least a couple battery packs with it before something broke and I'd start throwing shit at it. But it broke, and I said, piss on it, we're going to throw shit at it. And that's what I did. So yeah. Sounds a little funny. So yeah, this is actually pretty nice, but it shouldn't take much. A little work. Pen spring mods I see a lot of people doing. I've got a couple different options, you know, fuel tubing or things like that. There's a few things I've been finding lately or checking lately, and I found a couple things that seem to work pretty well on the Rift. The orange shock bumpers on the shock shaft outside of the body. Buy a set of those. You get a set of 4 in a package, one underneath each piston in the shocks. They fit right in the inside of the body. Smooth flow. They don't interfere with the shock action at all. And they give you a little bumper when they fully extend because those are a nice silicone piece. But instead of doing a pen spring, they're a hard bump. So they actually limit you when you're at the top. You get a little bump, but no, that's it. So let's see. Let's see what kind of turn. Ain't too bad. So much that looks like the end of it right there. Seen a few people doing the mods and making more turning radius. They feel good. The servo actually feels pretty stout, but it's a Spectro, so I know it ain't gonna last long. I'll probably pick up a Reese. Somewhere at least a 500 or a 555 most likely. I like the 555 for crawling. Lots of strength. Doesn't need to be super fast on the 555 or for crawling. You know, you don't need really fast reaction, but you know, fast enough. You know, hit that steering wheel to shake your front end down a little bit. That's always nice. So, but yeah, I'll do little things. It doesn't set too bad right there. You drop it, it's almost level. It needs to drop down a little bit. It definitely doesn't need to come up. Yeah, no doubt about that. I can see why people say 90 millimeter shocks, but this thing's already settled down 10 millimeters. That's, you know, fully extended. You know, at least 7. Fully extended to unextended is 7. 6, 7 anyways, and with the full level, about there. So I can see a little bit of adjustment. If I put the link riser on the rear, I don't think that will interfere with what I want to do, but it might interfere there. I guess on full compression with what I'm looking at to adapt rear steer, that may mess me up a little bit. And these are different front end rears, so won't be doing that, but all right. Well, yeah, I'm eager to get her out and play with her. I gotta see what batteries I got that'll fit it, and I should be able to put this one in there no problem. These are 3000 30Cs right now for crawling. They should be good. I probably have to do a little adjustment here. Get things in place. Yeah, there's a little adjustments I can make. Yep. Are they already opened all the way up? Goodness. Tight. But yeah, these will fit. These will fit. And I've been looking at a few other options. It might be a little long there with the cord sticking out like it is. That's right, it does come in there a little bit. It might be a little long. I might have to get a couple of slightly shorter batteries. So anyways, there she be in all her glory. But yeah, so I couldn't pass. $255 out the door, shipped to my door. I got it in 2 days. I bought it Friday. It didn't get shipped until yesterday. Got here today. Like I said, they're 2 hours, 20 minutes south of me maybe. So shipping was really quick. Yeah, I can see why I flat belly. So that'll probably be one of my first modifications, which is going to push things up a little higher. And I understand it's kind of tight underneath the thing, but we'll see. I know a lot of other people say drop the tranny out, go to a 3-gear, which I've got 2 of. 2 3-gear trannies. And then I've also have a SSD high ratio tranny, but I think I'm going to use that with the Rift axles and do a rock racer out of it, crawler, rock racer, hill climber, custom setup. I was going to use the Rift axles for a low CG build. I'm tempted to steal these and then put the SSDs on for low CG build. But I think I'm going to leave this as it is, and I'll just take the SSDs, build those up, and that will be my low center of gravity cheater rig axles. Because I really like the SSD axles, man. Those things are nice. Of course, I don't have any Vanquish axles yet. So I'll have to get a Vanquish wagon. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to pop for the money and well, let's see, that's a straight axle, that's a portal, that's a straight, and that's a straight, and this is a portal. So I'll probably get an Ultra, just to have the Vanquish portal axles. But we'll see. So anyways, that's that. Now there's another project I'll go ahead and talk about here. Put this in away. Over here for a minute. It's not a project, it's continuing on the Monster Mash build. There. And you can sit here for now. Get her out here for a minute. Just in place. Alright. Got Monster Mash. A few things I'm going to look at doing. Moving the front shock towers back farther. Mounting them a bolt hole or 2, maybe even 3 backwards. Might have to do some modification. And I may move from, let's look back, aren't they? What's the fronts? Well, they all feel the same. Because these are the SSD shock hoops in the rear and the front. I may remove the SSDs, I think, and go back to, so I could take these are the Vanquish shock hoops, and bring them back a little bit to get them back into the round of the chassis. I can get some more angle on that front shock and possibly even get the shock, the front shock hoops are out of the way. If I get the angle down, I'll be able to get the body a little lower, which would be nice. But that's not the project. That's just something I've been thinking about the last day or two as been getting other things ready. So that's what I might do. So what I was wanting to do is a wood bed. And I don't like the way everybody else has said. I mean, I see one that's weird. It's not. I don't want to do a flat bed. I want a wood bed, an actual bed. So I took this off, obviously. I'm getting around there. And I got this in here and got her trimmed up, but I just don't like the way it's chintzy. It looks it's wood on the back of the truck. It's not a wood bed. So I got the looking around, checking a few things out. And what I'm going to do is make a wood bed. So I took a piece of wood. I think it's 3/4 inch wide, but if you understand wood dimensions, it's actually about 5/8. Well, 5/8 ends up being about a 2x10, scale width. So if we're going to simulate a wood bed, we need wood planks. So I took and cut some wood up. That would work. Wood. Now I've got to obviously cut it to width, do some adapting on it, cut it to not width, cut it to length. And like many old trucks that had sideboards, wood bed sideboards, you kind of, had this angle cut in the back. It would be kind of up here. It's not cut the length because it just looked like crap, and I didn't want to do that. But this, on the other hand, one up, and then the second one, I will cut to angle along with the shock. And then, of course, well, that may actually be the top one. I may end up going one more down on the side just to tuck it down a little farther. And then, of course, we'll have a couple across the back here. Yeah, looks like that's what I'll end up doing. So I'll trim out for the servo, for the dig servo and stuff. And then that will drop down around it. Actually, that's going to be low enough that, yeah, that one will sit right there. I might even drop this one, cut it around the rails so it just drops down next to the rails on the outside and across the top, and actually will sit there. And then the next piece will come across and have to be cut out around the servo there a little bit, so you can see a little better. It's right at the top of the servo arm, so if I drop that, down to here a little bit, yeah, I won't need to go that low. I'll be able to pull it right across this spot, maybe and up a little bit. It's going to kind of depend on how things ride back here. Because I do want to kind of come through the shock area. I may have to start and stop unless I can get out here, at least right to the very outside. Boy, that'd be tight though. But I might be able to do something like that. But yeah, I'm going to do an actual wood bed. So I'll get my measurements, cut my 2x10s, and then take the rest of them, trim them down, make quote unquote 2x6s so I can turn around and do that. My second thought for the back, because I do have these cantilevers, is I may, is that the one? Like that. I may install the cantilevers and then run the shocks up the side. Obviously, I'll be able to get the bed lower across the whole back. And that will help hide the dig servo to a point, hide the cuts in the body right there to cover that area out, harder to see. So that's something I'm kind of thinking about potentially doing, but that sticks this thing out there quite a bit. So that shouldn't be in the issue. Have to get some shorter lengths, but another possibility. There's a place for those, at least for now. So yes, that is the other project. I was just gonna about build it, but I'm slapping lips. I gotta let everybody know. think it's too cool. I've seen some wood beds and they're okay. Kind of an afterthought. I don't like doing half-assed afterthoughts. I'm gonna go afterthought. I'm gonna go whole-assed all the way, whole-assed. It's the only way to do it, whole-assed. Don't half-ass anything. Always whole-ass it. Because if you fail, at least it's a spectacular fail, and not just an eh. So, anyways, I've been on here about an hour. I'm not sure where's my counter. Typically, there's a counter somewhere. Tells me how long it's been running. I don't see it. Cool, 0 drop frames. So that's amazing. 3 frames per second, 81%. All right. So yeah, there's my RC toys for Black Friday shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. I got 100 subscribers. I think you need 1,000 to start getting monetized. So subscribe, everybody, or get everybody to subscribe. Because yeah, I wouldn't mind throwing a few pennies a week from this thing onto this thing. Hey, if I got a few pennies a week, I'd probably be able to get more time to broadcast. I'd make more time. Is what it is. Like I said, winter's here. I'll have more time. It's been a while. It's been since September, October, November. It's almost December now. So it's been a few months since I put out any video, and a few months before that one. So that one was, I think, with the bomber stuff that was coming out. So, anyways, thanks for hanging out. Everybody have a good night.